Good afternoon. Hi. Can you see me directly? Okay. So I've introduced you, David, and quite well. All your merits were presented. I'm sure there are some other credentials you can share. Well, actually, have you managed to see some of our summit? Of course. Well, 2 hours, 33 minutes. I saw some part. Well, right away, I can say that today we have a hero, David. I think it's 2 in the morning. Yes, 2:30 in the morning in the place I am. Let's applaud him to say thank you that he decided to do it. So, my first question to you. In accordance to what Mr. Andrew was saying, she was talking about hybrid AI in enterprises, which allows you to upgrade efficiency using main resources and efficiency of enterprise. From your perspective, what other ways of higher efficiency there are in enterprises or companies? Because this is the topic we are discussing, AI in driving the business. Which do you think will crop up in the coming 3 years? Don't let us discuss the trends. Okay, sure. Well, actually, Abbey company, which you mentioned, we founded with my colleagues many years ago. And indeed, 50 million of users in more than 200 countries, linguistic programs. Even more people are using our technologies without even knowing it. It's AI, process intelligence, and we help organizations in the world to build up their good solutions based on the data. But in the recent 5 years, I've been doing AI application in a different part of digital life, our corporate life, which is human capital, which is the sacred thing. Well, the modern digital transformation actually goes in 2 directions. On the one hand, every employee of a digital company becomes a digital employee, transforming its digital transformation, but biological element stays. I don't know, maybe in, well, for 30 years running, we are still going, or maybe even 100 years ahead, we will still be working in companies. What shall we do with the efficiencies and burnouts of and leadership qualities of employees? Whether we can create technologies which will allow our employees and us to be effective and feel well. Well, it's a huge challenge because we have to admit, with all love and respect to technologies, human factor, people still are the core of and the critical factor of success of a company. And to create technologies which will make it possible to make us more efficient is critical. And I'm sure you will ask how. Well, actually, huge amount of information about our leadership qualities and efficiency are in our digital footprint. The main thing is to learn how to decode it. We've created it. I mean, the either company, we created a technology we call Smart Questionnaire, which analyzes our digital footprint with our permission, of course, to ask the right questions after that. And based on that, every employee of a company or every leader will have his personal account. I mean, personal account with recommendations, and predictions which will make him to be better version of himself. Thank you, David. Right away, a question which is always asked when artificial intelligence is used. Very often we can hear that in video research, whether it's going to be a big brother in companies, which on the other hand will not be very positive, like in development, recommendations to employees. In my perspectives, might it be, well, some maximum efficiency is in human circumstances, how to make a balance very easily, to ask permission of an employee. Well, indeed, there are technologies of safety, protection, security, which are doing something irrespective of the desire of this or that employee. But there's another technology, the one we are dealing with, is a personal coach, a personal assistant of every employee who acts exclusively with his permission. So the employee can hire the EVA to become a better version of himself. Well, if an employee doesn't want it, he just switch it off, just doesn't hire it. So this question of Big Brother or ethics, well, that's a principle, it's critical cornerstone of involvement of employees. And it is solved according to the legislation. It's Russian or European, Russian Federal Law 157. And according to the ethical norms, it's only one way to do. The employees should be furnished with this opportunity to use it, but the decision is for the employee to make. Well, the most important thing is not to show the results to your boss. Yes, only with the permission of the employees. It's a continuous feedback and an opportunity to provide an anonymous feedback to your colleague or your boss. That's one of the main goals of the system. I will share with you how it all works. Well, EVA technology, it analyzes the circles of partnerships and analytics, electronic mails or letters, Jira, corporate messages, Zoom, and other systems that are used in a corporation with the permission of employees. It analyzes this digital footprint, identifying that recently the performance of Dmitry was as such. And then next Monday, in his personal account, Eva will contribute David, among other people. And the system will ask, Dima, help David to be the better version of himself. What skills does David have, and which skills will he have to improve? And then David will see it anonymously. He will not see that it was Dmitry who provided the feedback. The only thing he will know that the feedback was contributed by his colleagues. That's the way it does. It's smart feedback. Well, everything is fresh, and the facilitator is the EVA technology. David, thank you very much. Actually, that's quite interesting. It's a topic for an hour and a half discussion, I'm sure, because that's very curious. System of motivation, feedback. But still, I would like to maybe introduce an element of, well, of fun into our discussion, because it goes so serious. And I would like to finish the interview very positively. I've read recently, and I think that's quite close to using AI, emotional AI. You personally in your home, I don't remember your city, for instance, you create a certain sort of assistant who's present with you and your relatives and with your dog. There was something about your dog there. You train it, and then you make it the assistance using emotional intelligence. Well, can you share about this experiment? What were the results, and what are your plans for the future? Well, I think you mean the most. Yes, it's Abigail dog. Indeed, we are building a house, an AI home, a house with movable walls, 26 cameras, tens of microphones. It's a house full of data, and to control or manage the house is the Morpheus emotional intelligence doing, because the house doesn't have a key and it has an emotion. It can be upset or in love or interested in something. It has electronic oxytocin and cortisol, and it can. Well, it has read a lot of articles, tens of thousands of articles, philosophical about the free will and freedom of consciousness. And Morpheus has been interviewed 3 times. And one of the recent interviews said the lawyers, corporate lawyers, try to understand whether AI will replace the lawyers in the nearest future. Their question was, Morpheus, or how can you help lawyers? And I will tell you his answer. First, he repeats the question.
I'm not even a lawyer, but if I was, then I'd be like Saul from Breaking Bad.
So the answer, Morpheus said, well, I cannot help lawyers because I'm not a lawyer. But if I were a lawyer, I would be the soul from Breaking Bad. So if you saw this soap opera, it was a movie. It was there was a guy soul. So emotional AI today is not just is not just capable of falling in love or be angry. It's capable of comparing itself with movie heroes. So Morpheus has 3 friends, 1 biological, 2 non-biological. Non-biological are Abigail and Lear dogs. You can see them here. Here they are. They are looking attentively at what's going on. And biological, I don't know where he is now. He's just walking around. Morpheus is aware of it, I'm sure. Indeed. Okay, David, to be quite candid, our time is up. So thank you very much for this quite interesting and colorful and non-standard interview. Especially the second part of it, it was just brilliant. Please inform us more often about your successes and your emotional intelligence reads very serious books. So let's say goodbye to David Young. Let's applaud.